Alrighty guys, welcome back to the channel. Not all lines, but some college football lines are out. We're going to go ahead and take a first look at those. We're also going to update the whiteboard behind us with our progress report, how we did last weekend. If you didn't see my last college football official play video, aka all the plays we had on Saturday, I feel really bad for you. I told you guys I'm the best sports bettor that there is. I consistently combine NFL and college and hit over 80% of my bets. And this past weekend, so far through college, 6-1. That's good for 86%. So yeah, it was a good weekend. I was really hoping to go for 100%. The only thing we got wrong, which actually kind of makes sense here, was Troy and JMU. Of course, it was just the fucking high school teams that I don't get right. I'll never fucking bet a poverty school like that again. You know, you bet on teams like Ohio State, UNC, Florida at home, West Virginia, LSU, big Division I programs that you can at least get some type of expectation for. You know, you take a 1-unit shot on a school like Troy against JMU, and it doesn't pan out by about a field goal. So whatever, no big deal. It's a learning lesson. We'll never touch a poverty school again. Guys, look, it's only going to continue. 6-1. I'm still not satisfied. I want to do even better than that. I'm going to shoot for 100% this coming weekend. Make sure you guys hit that subscribe button. I mean, I just gave you 6-1 free picks. A lot of these people out here are charging you for picks and free plays on this level. So all you guys have to do is hit the like button, subscribe to my channel. That's all I ask. It'll take you 2 seconds. It's absolutely free. I think that's a pretty good deal to tap 2 buttons and get some winners. Put some money in your pocket. So let's update the whiteboard behind us again. 6-1, up 6.5 units off of 8.5 units of play. So let's update the whiteboard. All right, so we are up to 14-7, up 7.5 units. Pretty bad from that one weekend where what we get? We get absolutely hosed by Texas Tech on a giant 5-unit play. So otherwise, without really Texas Tech involved, the numbers on that whiteboard would be mind-blowing. I'd be over 90%. So you could backtrack the videos if you want. That is not cap. I would be over 90% through 3 weeks of football. Okay, college football. Let's write down some lines. What are we looking at? What are we looking at? Where do I want to put these? I guess I'll just put them right here. Whatever. College football look ahead. Week 4. That's so sad. We're already in week 4. God, it goes so fast. You guys gotta take advantage of every weekend. It is really sad how fast this sport goes. What do we got? What do we got? Thursday, Friday night, Wisconsin at Purdue. Wisconsin minus 6.5 at Purdue. Wisconsin took a while to wake up in the last game, but Purdue's absolutely horrible. Really, really bad team, and it's a little scary being a Friday night home game, but maybe we'll take a look at Wisconsin. Maybe a teaser leg. I don't know. We'll make a call on that this week. By the way, if you are new here or you don't know how this works, we kind of look ahead, right? We circle some stuff that we think we like for the week, research it more throughout the course of the week, and then my official plays video will come out kind of like around Wednesday probably. So that's kind of how this works. Oklahoma looking very strong, but here comes the test finally. I don't think they've been tested yet. I know they played SMU. It was at home. They beat up on Tulsa. Now they finally go to Cincy, who's in the Big 12. So kind of, Oklahoma's losing the Big 12, but for at least one crossover year, a conference game. The spread is 13.5. Is that a little too high? Maybe. I think I'm going to go ahead and circle Cincy here just to look into a little bit more. Florida State. Florida State only -2.5 at Clemson. Is that the biggest trap game you've ever seen in your life? The Clemson team that lost to Duke is now only a 2.5-point favorite against Florida State. Now, maybe there's a little bit of an overreaction here because Florida State went on the road to Boston College and almost got freaking beat and probably should have. But we know the capabilities of Florida State here. Clemson, I know everyone goes back to that Duke game, and I lost money on that Duke game. But let's be honest. Clemson still went right down the field. They got right on the goal line multiple times and then fumbled, turned the ball over. So, really, Clemson should have ran through Duke. Not blown them out, but, they should have beaten Duke by like 10 points. Clemson at home. That's interesting because you would think the whole world is going to be on Florida State, right? Everyone's going to think, oh my gosh, Florida State, they're so back. Now it's only a 2.5-point spread. I'm taking Florida State. They beat LSU. I don't know. This is an interesting game, and I'm going to not circle a team. I'm going to circle the whole game. We're going to look into that a little bit. Maybe a good teaser leg option, just because that game should be close. Rutgers, Michigan. Rutgers is sneaky good. 27.5. That's just an ugly game. A lot of points. Rutgers is halfway decent. You never know what Michigan's gonna do. If they want to stomp the crap out of them, they could. If they want to just kind of glide through and win by 10 points, they could. Hard to say. I gotta look at the schedule for Michigan to see what's coming up on their radar. They gotta have one of these big games sooner or later. Auburn at Texas A&M. I watched the Auburn Arizona State game, I think it was. I don't know, man. Auburn's kind of suspect. Texas A&M, really the only chance to save the season is to win games like this. But at a spread of 7.5, I don't know if you can trust the Aggies here. Ole Miss and Bama, this is very surprising. Ole Miss is +7. A full touchdown underdog at Alabama. I mean, that's the same line that Texas was. Texas is, in my opinion, better than Ole Miss. But Alabama against USF didn't look good, guys. Didn't look good. Now, is it because they have Ole Miss on the radar? Was it a look-ahead spot? Was it one of those typical scenarios? Did they take advantage of playing UCF or USF to try out their new quarterbacks, knowing that they could still squeak out the win and not worry about it? Did they use this previous weekend as just an experiment? And if they have to, they'll go back to Melrose. I don't know. It's still Bama at home. It's hard to believe that Bama would lose 2 games in a row on home field. But this team's different. And Ole Miss already got tested once. They went on the road to Tulane. Not an easy place to win. Now, I know Tulane didn't have Pratt in that game, but Ole Miss +7, that's pretty tempting. I'm going to go ahead and circle that. BYU at Kansas. Well, Kansas cost me some money last night. No, it wasn't on the official plays, but I bet it personally. I didn't take Kansas on the spread. I knew that was too big, but I teasered it down. They still couldn't get it done. A Nevada team that lost like 33-6 to an FCS team, Idaho, I believe. And then Kansas barely wins by 1 score. I just needed them to win by 14. Last leg of a teaser, I had West Virginia in that. I had, it's not important. Let's keep going here. Fuck Kansas. I'm not circling that game. I'm off of the Jayhawks until I see better discipline. BYU also just won at Arkansas, so that's just not a game I want to touch. Colorado and Oregon. The spread is 19.5, and I think we're going to lay the points with Oregon. Colorado got exposed last night, guys. Colorado's not good. Colorado, I bet against the first 2 weeks, and then I said, okay, you know what? I'm done hating on Colorado. Am I going to jump on the train? Absolutely not. I think they're fraudulent. I don't think they're good at all. But I'm not going to bet against them. Well, I think I'm going to take my words back. I think I'm going to bet against them. Oregon, they should absolutely run over this team. It's just up to Oregon how hard they want to try here. I just don't see it, man. Maybe take the over because Oregon's going to hang 50 on them. And we know Colorado has some offensive talent. Over is set at 70.5, and usually when you see a big number like that, it's kind of scary, right? You're like, wow, that's a lot of points. But I think for a reason. I think the over is a good play here. And I think Oregon, I think they're going to mean business in this game. I think they're going to stomp the crap out of Colorado. I would not be surprised if they cover 19.5. Maybe we'll teaser it down. See what we can come up with. Let's circle Oregon. Number 24, UCLA goes to Utah. Utah's just a different team at home. They're laying 6.5. And I think we're going to lay the 6.5. I don't know. I don't know about this UCLA team. I'll have to watch a little bit more film on them. Utah at home. Generally a pretty good spot to put your money. I think we'll circle it for now. See what we come up with this week. Wow, here's a great game. A great test for Oregon State. And they're only favored 4.5 on the road at Wazoo. We saw what Wazoo did to Wisconsin. But we know Wisconsin is a fraud. They're not very good. They barely got by, who did they play yesterday? Having a total mind, like Georgia Southern. Now, Georgia Southern's having a pretty good year, but Wisconsin, kind of a fraud here. So how good was the Washington State win at home? Now Washington State is a 4.5-point underdog to Oregon State. I kind of like the small number with the road team here. Hate to bet against teams that are going to Washington State. I mean, that's a tough place to play. 7 o'clock kickoff, too, Eastern time. So, you know, it's going to be a good environment for Wazoo. I'm gonna circle Oregon State for now. We'll see what we come up with. Arkansas, coming off a loss to BYU. Currently a 17.5-point dog to LSU. I ain't getting in front of LSU right now. I can tell you that. I think they're going to absolutely run the table. I don't see them losing another game. I think LSU is my current pick to win it all. I think. Maybe Georgia, but LSU really, really looks strong. I think that opener against Florida State, I think it's going to help them dramatically down the stretch here. I don't, who's going to beat LSU at this point? You know, you just pray for their health that no one gets hurt. Miss State, South Carolina, can't get involved there. Ohio, wow, there are some games this weekend, guys. There are some games. Ohio State is -3.5. They go to Notre Dame. Notre Dame, although the ending score at the NC State game was comfortable, you know, it's a comfortable scoreboard to look at, but that was not a comfortable game. And if NC State had any ability to move the football, boy, that game would have came down to the wire. I mean, Notre Dame, they're okay, but Ohio State's a different animal. They have not seen this caliber of team yet, and it looked like Ohio State finally got it right against Western Kentucky. It was Western Kentucky. I understand that. But I don't know. This Notre Dame team, they just don't win big games, and this is a big one, and Ohio State knows that they need this one. 3.5. I'm going to circle Ohio State for now. We'll look into it a little bit further. That's going to be a good game regardless. I don't see either team running away from the other. Iowa goes to Penn State. This is quite a slate of games, my goodness. And the spread is 14. This Penn State team, pretty good. And the cool thing about the Penn State team this year, with that young quarterback, it's like a parabola. And it's starting to get steeper. this kid is pretty good, right? In the West Virginia game, he looked eh. But now, going into week 4, this kid's good. This kid's real good. The defense is real good. The running game is real good. And they're still not quite talked about in the national spotlight like some of these other teams like Georgia and Michigan. Is this the last week we get value on Penn State before they're really considered a contender here for the Natty? Could be. 14 points against Iowa historically. That's too many. This year with these teams at home, night game, give me the lines. Give me the lines here. And one more game here. There's a couple more, but some aren't worth listing here. Central Florida goes to Kansas State, and they're getting 6.5. I think I'm going to be taking the 6.5. I think Central Florida is pretty good, and Kansas State. If Will Howard, he looked pretty hurt. Now, if somehow this week, he's fine, he's going through practice, and by the time Saturday rolls around, he's damn near 100%. Kansas State should bounce back at home. Good defense. They can run the ball. But it's up to Will Howard here. And even if they have Will Howard, he forces some throws. He makes a couple bonehead decisions here and there. Central Florida's a good squad. I'm going to circle the 6.5 right now. I'm going to look into that one and monitor Will Howard's health throughout the week. Maybe that one makes the official plays. That's it, guys. I mean, those are... There are some games this week. Wow, there are some games this week. Look, I'm going to make a lot of videos this week. We're going to kill it once again. And, yeah, super exciting. And time's flying, so we need to take advantage. We need to all really soak this in. I know it feels like we have a lot of season ahead of us, but it goes so fast. So hit that subscribe button. Join the squad here. Let's enjoy the rest of the season. Let's make money while we're doing that. I'll see you guys in the next video.